Okay, everybody, let's, excuse me, let's get back to what we were doing the last time we met, which was sewing signatures together. First thing we did, I'm going to start all over so that you can watch the whole process. The first thing we did was to take sheets of paper, fold them in half, matching the corners very carefully, then come down to the center and fold out. Then fold them back on itself just so that it creases the paper better. And then we tore them like this. You, of course, can also cut them if you like. Now, then, to get our sheets, we're going to match those up, fold them the same way. But this time I'm going to fold this one back on itself. This is just a trick. If you're using something like watercolor paper that has two different sides, like watercolor paper has a rougher side and a smoother side, if you're going to paint, you want to have all the paper the same. Whoops. You want the paper to be the same. You don't want it to be two different. You don't want this to be smooth and this to be rough. So you just put them together like that. So we're going to do, you should do 2 pieces of paper torn into 4 sheets, not 2 sheets, and then nest them together. And that's what I've got over here. I'm going to move this up a little bit so that you can see more at a time. This is going to get shaky, I'm afraid, but bear with me. Oh, I always do the wrong thing. Okay, bear with me. You should be able to see better. I unfortunately will not be able to see the camera and what the camera is doing, but, well, maybe I can. Just a little. And I don't have you here to tell me that you can't see. Okay, so I have, then this is a signature. It's 4 pieces of paper nested together, okay? And then we're going to grab this guy, our little punch thing, and you want to, stack your paper well. And then what I did was, so that I knew that I would be punching in the right places, I put a piece of tape here and put marks on it. Unfortunately, don't do what I did, which was to go over the edge. Hopefully I can grab some alcohol or something like that and get that off, maybe fingernail polish remover. So I nest the V into the V here. We put this guy on to trap the pages and hold them securely. Then we screw the little knobs in to hold it tight. Grab your thing, and I know you're saying, but we can't see those now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this back and say, okay, so I hope you can see that I see is pointing to here. So I'm punching there, and I'm punching there. Can you see? You'll have to trust me on this. The other way to do this is simply count. Say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the right one, right? Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just double check that. Yep, that's the right one. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So that's how we're doing them, because on this style of binding, you want an even number of holes, 4 holes, not an odd number of holes, like when we did the pamphlet stitch last time, where we went in the middle and then out and then skipped and then in. That was the pamphlet stitch. So we're not doing that. Okay, so now I have, these are the 2 signatures that I started with last time, and I marked them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then I'm going to mark this one, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So you see I go up one, down the other, up one, and down the other. And I may have to mark those on the other sides. I'm not sure what's going to be best for you to see. Now, last time I sewed, I used embroidery floss in black, but since we're adding signatures, I decided to just take the book apart and get some different thread. This is actually ancient Coats and Clark Button and Carpet extra strong thread. I don't even know if you can still get it. This is something out of my mother's sewing box. So I'm going to say we've got what I have here is 4 signatures, okay? So I'm going to say I'm going to need 4. I would need 4 if I was just going straight up and down. But this stitch, if you look at your thing, this stitch goes down, and then when it goes up, it goes in, and I'm just gonna give us a little extra. I know that I showed that to you way too fast, but you'll see what I mean. 1, 2, well, back up. I always hold a little at either end as well, because you're gonna need to tie it at some point. 2, 3, 4, so I'm gonna guess maybe 5 loose ones. Let's make it 6 just to be sure. Using up all this wonderful antique thread. I haven't even told Jean I'm doing this, so she may be mad at me for using up Mom's old thread. Okay, so now I'm going to, and you don't want it too long because you don't want your hands to get caught in it and your the thread to get caught around corners and itself and everything. So okay, now I'm threading the needle. Put it down here where you can see it. She says confidently, I'm threading the needle. Okay. And there's a couple of things that I have handy. I have a binder clip that I'm going to use to hold the end of the thread. You could probably also use a paper clip or something like that, but this is just what I have handy. So I'm going to open up the first signature, and then I'm going to grab hold of this somehow and just latch it on there so that it won't run away from me. And it's on the thread is on the outside of the signature. And I'm going to take my needle and go in the bottom hole, the number 1 hole, then out the number 2 hole, in the 3rd hole. See what I mean about it getting caught? In the 3rd hole, pull it snug, out the 4th hole. Okay, so that's your first signature done. Pretty easy, huh? So then we're going to close that one for the time being and grab the next one and put the top hole there next to the top hole. So number 5 next to number 4. Then I'm going to stick my fingers through here so that it's sort of a flap. And in fact, you might want to clip this too. You might just find that it makes it easier for you. All right, so now I've come out the 4th hole. I'm going in the 5th hole, the top of the 2nd signature. Then I'm coming out number 6. And instead of going to number 7 directly, I'm going to 3 so that it will tie together the 2 signatures. Then I come out hole number 2, snugging it up, go in hole number 7, and if I'm going too fast, just stop the video and rewind and look at it again and get comfortable as I try and pick up my thread here. Okay, so I'm snugging that up. So I've just gone in hole number 7. I'm going to come out hole number 8. Okay, and snug that up. Now I'm going to take this apart and I'm going to release the loose thread here. And it's going to come up here, and I'm going to snug them both up and tie them in a square knot. This thread's a little stiff, but that's okay. It's going to be actually very good for this, I think. Okay. So square knot. Okay. Now, so we've got 2 signatures sewn together. That's where we left off last time. Now, so this is 8. So I'm going to go number 9, and I'm again going to clip these 2 together because then I'm not dropping them. So I've come out 8, so I go in 9. And don't lose the other end of your thread. This is the tied off end. Then we go out 10. Then we go in here and we go, I know you can't see what number it is, but we go in this one, which would be 7, I guess. Where am I? Okay, that's not going to work. Aha! I had it wrong. Okay. So I'm actually going to stick these 2 together. The first and second, or first and half of the second, so that I can come out. So here's 10, and I'm going to go into 7. So I'm going down into 7, just going through 7. I'm not going into this first signature. Okay, so goes into 10, out 6, in 11. It's easier if you open it up because then you can feel when the needle goes through. Snug it up. Come out 12. And now here's where you do something a little different. When you do this, you want to go between these 2 signatures. Can you see? Oh God, no, you can't see anything. Between those 2 signatures, pull this out, tie a knot, go through this loop and tie a knot, snug everything up first. I can figure out which one I'm supposed to pull to snug it up. There we go. And then tie it into a knot there so that it stays together at that end too, okay? I'm going to stop here for a second, take a look at this video and see if you can see what I'm doing. All right, so we are at number 12. We've just tied it off right here. I lowered the camera so that I can look at it a little better and make sure that I'm getting everything in the camera that you need to see. I'm gonna tie or clip this together back here, and I've got the 4th signature open so that we can get the needle in there. Sorry, I'm drifting a little. All right, so we're going from 12 into 13. And okay, 12 into 13. Snug it up a little. Go in through 14. Snug it up a little. And then we're going to go back into 11. You see the 11 there? Right into 11. My goodness. Then out 12. in 15, and out 16. Now, let's close this, snug it up a little. And then the next thing to do, just as we did at 12 and 13, we are going to come here and run the needle between the last two signatures, or the last stitch, sorry, the last stitch, and catch that loop and tie a knot. And that's got our 4 signatures sewn together. So now we're going to clip the threads. We could probably clip them shorter, but I always figure I can do that later. So here we have our book. See? Now, when I tell you to snug it up, I don't mean pull hard and I don't mean leave it loose. It's just get it snug, because then you've got your signatures sitting nicely against each other like this one. Instead, of course, that thread's a little loose, isn't it? Instead of being gapping, having a big gap between them. There's the center of that one. And then there are the signatures. And that's, you can sort of see, I'm a little loose here. And that's why it's gapping some there. And then these are the ones where I did the like to like pages so that I could show you how that would work. So that's it for this. I will do another one quick soon, probably tomorrow morning, on how to make a cover for this. And we're going to do a dummy cover. So I think you should just have some, I'm going to try and see if I can find a cereal box or something like that to cut the cardboard, or just some lightweight cheap cardboard that I don't care about, and a piece of paper. And I'll show you at the beginning of that video what size you'll need for this size book and how to calculate what size you'll need for another book. Okay, thanks. Sorry this was so bad. I'll figure it out again. I haven't done this in a while, and certainly trying to show you how to stitch something which is, I'm flapping around, is difficult, but you can see how that turned out. All right? Thanks. Bye.